Hi everyone, it's Darlene. Welcome to this week's card. Today's card is a pretty simple card, and I'm using a new product that I just got from Simon Says Stamp. It's a new die cut called Mod Circle Frame. I'm also going to be using the Lawn Fawn set called Lucky Stars. I've used this a lot. There's a lot of cute sentiments in it. And then 2 Distress inks, Dusty Concord, and Chipped Sapphire. So the first thing I'm going to do is take this Mod Circle frame and I'm going to cut it out of some white paper, Nina Solar White, and then some black Stampin' Up! Cardstock. Now with the white piece, I'm going to pull out just some pieces to create a background. And then the black one, I'm just going to be using the outline. So I'm going to pull out all the pieces that I'll use as the background so I can sort of see it. And now I'm going to start here with the Distress inks. I'm going to apply Dusty Concord first. I'm going to do it in sort of a random pattern. And then I'll apply the, at first I was going to do all the Dusty Concord on all the pieces and then switch to Chipped Sapphire, but then I decided that it was probably better to switch off so it wouldn't dry in between. So, so I'm going to kind of go back and forth with these two colors, and I'm not too worried about getting any blocks, you know, those ink blocks, because I'm going to be putting enough ink to where if I do get a block, it'll get covered up. And because these pieces are a little odd shaped and some of the ends are kind of thin, I'm really pressing down hard with my left hand to make sure I keep that paper stable on my tabletop while I'm using the applicator, which I'm kind of using in a twisting motion. Alright, this is just some water, and how I like to apply my water sprays is not with a paintbrush but with my hands. So I just spray a bunch in my palm and then I just flick it with my fingers. And I find that it's the easiest thing to do, and it really doesn't get out of control, and it stays, you know, kind of within my workspace. And it gives me some really nice variety in drops, so some big ones and some small ones. And you can see that the Distress ink reacts with the water. So this is Irresistible Spray. It's a texture spray, and the last time I used it, if you remember, I said the next time I use this I'm going to put it in a box. So I got a little cardboard box here and I put all my pieces in it. This spray, it's a texture spray, so it actually raises up off your paper, and so it dries kind of thick. And I'm just getting some on my paintbrush, and I went ahead and just opened the bottle, and I'm going to chop my paintbrush from the top, and it's going to give me just a variety of different size splatters. And I'm just going to keep going until I get the amount that I want. And this texture spray dries kind of like a, I wouldn't say it's kind of a clear white, so it's still white but it's not opaque. Anyway, it's a nice look for sort of a spacey looking card. Alright, this is my card base, which is just a standard A2 card. I'm going to place my frame on top, which is perfectly A2 size, and then I'm going to take my pencil and I'm going to mark these lines here. So I'm going to be stamping around them. So just that one circle right there, and then this other area right here. And then I'll remove the frame and I'll see where I need to stamp. Now I looked and found the tiniest star I could find, and it's this Merry Tree set by Simon Says Stamp. Simon Says Stamp has a lot of really tiny pieces, but sadly this is going to be the last time I use this star because I don't know what happened to it. I thought I was really careful and put it right back on top of the stamp set, but then it went missing, and I looked everywhere. I looked in the garbage. I mean, I emptied the garbage. I looked everywhere and I can't find it. So I'm hoping I'll find it one day, like attached to a stamp set or at the bottom of some tool or something like that where it clung to it. But anyway, so I'm just going to go, and I'm actually using the star in the same direction every single time so I get a little bit better uniformity, and I'm using the bottom point and touching that pencil line every time so I get the same distance. Now for my sentiment, I'm going to line up my piece inside because I want to make sure I get my sentiment straight. And even when doing this, it was still a little bit crooked. But anyway, I'm going to use this. This Lawn Fawn set has a lot of really cool sentiments in it. And I'm going to use one of them, but I want to break it up into pieces because it's too long. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mask off with a Post-it the first part and the last part, because I'm going to stamp it in 3 parts, and I'm going to do the center one first because I'll put that right in the middle, and then I'll put the first part on top of it and then the last part underneath it, and that way I know that the whole set of 3 is going to be centered. So this is some VersaFine black onyx ink. I'm going to stamp it right there in the middle, and then I'm going to clean this really thoroughly, and I didn't show you that, but I just cleaned it really thoroughly. And now I'm going to cover up the other part with the Post-it. I'm going to ink it up, and then I'll stamp it on top. And then I'm just going to do that same exact thing, cleaned it off really thoroughly, and now I'm going to mask the other part of it, and I'm going to stamp the last. And I'm going to do the top piece a little bit to the left and the bottom words a little bit to the right. Alright, now I'm going to put this all together. Now I'm going to flip over my frame, and then I'm going to put my pieces in there upside down because I'm going to put it all together from the back so you can't see it. So it's kind of a fun little puzzle here. And I have my surgical tape, which I get at Amazon. It's a very, very thin tape, and it's perfect for this application. It's extremely sticky, yet it's like a Post-it. So it's really weird how it's so strong, but it comes right off when you want to peel it off, just like a Post-it. But for this purpose, it's going to be permanent, and it's thin enough to where you can't even tell that there's any adhesive on the back. And so I'm barely touching those black lines. And I'm doing this, I'm putting a lot of it on here because I want to make sure that the whole thing is popped up. And in order to do that, they all have to be, the frame and the pieces have to be at the same level. So I'm just fast forwarding through all this, and I'm using my scissors to cut the lines so that they're straight when they need to be. Alright, once I get that all finished, I'm going to erase my lines now that my ink is dried a little bit, because the pigment ink takes a little bit longer to dry. And then I'm going to put some dimensionals, just some foam adhesive. I'll remove the backings and place it right on top of my card base, which should line up perfectly with the pencil lines that I drew and inked my stars around. Alright, now I'm going to pop up my sentiment with the dimensionals right there in that hole. So some of the holes are empty, and so you can kind of see space behind it. And that's pretty much it. So it's a pretty easy card to make. Kind of different and kind of fun. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you next week. Thanks for watching.